Every year, thousands of people move to Spain, and most of them cannot distinguish two very different things, but that sound very similar. One is a NIE, the other one is a TIE. One is a number, the other one is a physical card. Getting these things wrong can cost you a month of additional administration, appointments, problems with doing some legal matters and administrative matters in Spain. So let's try to save you this time and help you with this most basic but very complicated administrative things in Spain that most people don't understand right away. By the end of this video, you will know what is an IE, what is IE, and what to do if you are a non-EU citizen, or what to do if you are an EU citizen, EEA or Swiss citizen that is planning to reside in Spain, or what to do if you just want to do some legal matters in Spain and not reside there. Hi, everyone. My name is Dunja. Welcome to Dunja in Spain. I've been living in Spain for over 3 years. I did all my administrative matters by myself. And of course, I made a lot of errors on the way. I lost some time. In the last 1 year, I've been also helping other people, other immigrants with their administrative matters to go through this process much faster and easier. Stick with me. There will be a lot of helpful information in this video for people planning to move to Spain or planning to do some legal business in Spain, or who just moved and they need to do some administrative matter. And before I continue, I would like to remind you to please subscribe, because this means a lot to small creators. It helps us grow our account. You will get a lot of moving abroad information. First, let's go to the fast decision 3. If you are planning to do some legal business in Spain, but you don't want to reside in Spain, you basically need to get a NIE to do any kind of legal business. Next, if you want to reside in Spain, there are basically two different groups of residents, foreign residents in Spain. One are the EU citizen, EEA, or Swiss citizens. Once they come to Spain, they need to register, basically to get an EU registration certificate within 3 months after arriving to Spain, which of course will also include their NIE number. They need to justify which kind of business they have in Spain and why they are planning to be residents in Spain. For this, they will need EX form 18, and they will not need a TIE, which is a physical card. So let's go to the physical card. This is a TM. It's for non-EU citizens who are going to be residents in Spain, and they're staying for more than 6 months in Spain. They need a TM. To be clear, a NIE is basically a number of identity of the foreigner. This is a number. TE is a physical card that non-EU residents need if they're staying for over 6 months, and EU certificate, which also includes a NIE number, is needed for people who are EU, EEA, or Swiss citizens staying for over 3 months, but they need to apply within 3 months after arriving to Spain. Let's go one by one. What is the NIE? NIE is a número de identidad de extranjero, which basically means number of identity of a foreigner. If you are going to do any legal business in Spain, any administrative procedures, even though you are not planning to live in Spain, to be a resident in Spain, you need this number. Just to make clear, there are some common mistakes regarding this. NIE doesn't mean that you have a visa. NIE doesn't mean that you have a residence permit. NIE is not giving you the right to live in Spain. NIE is just giving you the right to do some legal business or administrative business in Spain. So these are very important things, because many people make this mistake and think once they get a NIE, they can be residents of Spain, which is not true. So there are two main situations where foreigners get a NIE. The first situation is when an immigration or residence-related procedure is opened for you. In many cases, the NIE is assigned automatically by the Spanish police as part of that procedure. For example, if you are applying for the residence authorization or another procedure that gives you the right to stay in Spain, live in Spain, the NIE may be generated inside that process. But this is important. This is not the case with every type of visa. So you also need to check that depending on which visa you are applying for. Another situation is if you're not necessarily moving to Spain, but would like to have some economic, professional, social, or administrative interests in Spain, then you need a separate route. For example, property buyers who are not relocating, non-resident taxpayers, people opening a Spanish bank account as non-residents, people signing documents before a Spanish notary, or professionals who need Spanish number for specific transactions. You can apply in Spain through the police or foreigners office, or from abroad through a Spanish consulate. One important thing is that many people apply for this non-resident NIE. Actually, they use this EX15 NIE route as a potential shortcut for applying for visa or residence process. If you're actually planning to move to Spain, this NIE itself is not a residence permit in Spain. The correct route for getting a NIE depends on your visa type, your nationality, and your residence situation. Next, what is the TIE? TIE is the physical card. TIE means Tarjeta de Identidad de Extranjero. It's a physical card that is issued to foreigners by the police, the national police, and it actually proves that you are legally authorized to remain and live in Spain. If you are staying in Spain for over 6 months, you need to apply for a TIE. You need to get an appointment within 1 month. My experience is that this is not always possible because appointments are very limited and sometimes it just takes time, but take this very seriously. Usually they are not going to penalize you if you don't do that within 1 month, but try to accommodate this deadline. And for this, I find gestorias who are helping you get an appointment and prepare the right documentation for the appointment very useful and very helpful, which I will mention more about later. Most important, you will need an appointment, the famous cita previa. I really don't advise you trying to go there to the police office and telling them, can I just squeeze in because I had I don't know, problems to find the appointment. This is, in my experience, not going to work. I mean, I don't say that it's in 100% is not working. Maybe in some other towns, cities in Spain is different, but in Madrid is very, very extremely important that you get this appointment before going to the police. The TA usually has the same validity period as the authorization behind it. Of course, there are also long-term TAs. Once you fulfill all the conditions to get a long-term residence, then basically means you have a long-term residence, but you need to renew your TA every 5 or every 10 years, depending on the situation. And of course, very important, if card is lost, destroyed, stolen, or damaged, you need to request a replacement. It's not renewal of your residence. It will keep the same validity period as your authorization to stay in Spain. Next, UEA Swiss citizens. Let's say if you are an EU citizen, to make it simple, your route is very different. You don't need to apply for a TM. If you're staying in Spain for more than 3 months, you must register in the Central Register of Foreigners. For this, you will be using the form EX18. The deadline to do this is within 3 months from your entry into Spain. As I mentioned earlier, you need to apply in person at the foreigner's office or police station in the province where you live. If approved, the certificate is immediately issued. The certificate will contain your NIE number, among other information about you. One more small note. If you are a non-EU citizen, but a family member of an EU citizen, don't automatically expect to copy the procedure of your family member. You have to also check what is the procedure applying for you. But what is certain is that it's not the same procedure as for your family member who is an EU citizen. Okay, let's do one side-by-side comparison. So the NIE is a number It identifies a foreigner in Spain for administrative purposes. If you need to request it separately, you use EX15 form. There is no general moving to Spain deadline for the NIE itself. You request it when the procedure of transaction requires it. And keep in mind that having a NIE doesn't mean that you are authorized to be a resident or to stay in Spain longer term. TIE is a physical residence card that non-EU citizens get when they move to Spain, and shows that you are authorized to reside in Spain for more than 6 months. The registration certificate is for the EU, EEA, and Swiss citizens, non-Spanish, of course, staying in Spain for more than 3 months. You need to apply within 3 months after arriving. You need to use EX18 form, and the deadline is 3 months from entry. And if everything is in order, the certificate is issued immediately and contains, of course, your NIE number. Common mistakes. Mistake number 1, thinking that NIE gives you the residence. It doesn't. So this I mentioned already several times. Mistake number 2, waiting too long to book a TIE appointment. Don't assume that you're going to get a TIE appointment as soon as you get to the web page and try to book an appointment. Sometimes it takes weeks. Try to get an appointment as soon as you can. Mistake number 3, applying for the wrong form. So EX15 is if you're requesting a NIE separately. EX17 is for the TIE, and EX18 is for the EU citizen registration that also includes obtaining a NIE. Mistake number 4, assuming that EU citizens get a TIE. They don't. They don't follow the same route as non-EU citizens. Mistake number 5, trusting screenshots, forums, or old blog posts over official pages. Very important. Check official pages, whatever you do. Also for this video, don't take this video as an ultimate documentation preparation instruction. You have to check official pages. And another thing, as I said earlier, for all the legal matters, if this is all too much for you, which I can believe that for many people it is, especially because these all official government pages in most cases are only really well available in Spanish, I really advise you to get a relocation company that is going to help you with all the steps. So from booking the appointment, telling you which documents you need to bring, paying the tasas for you, filling in the forms, all of this stuff you can get from gestorías, and you can ask me, write me if you need advice which gestoría to contract. Mistake number 6, there are exceptions. Don't ignore them. So the different visa programs, these residence programs, they have a little bit different routes. You need to check the route depending on the visa that you are going to apply for, depending on your nationality, and depending on which region you are planning to move in Spain. So, for example, if you are applying for a TIE, different regions in Spain, they have slightly different regulations. Nationals of specific countries, they might need to follow slightly different routes than like the general instructions. You need to check all of that. If you have any additional questions, I'm happy to answer you. Also, don't blindly trust this video. Information, they may change. They usually change with time, but also because depending on the visa that you are applying for, the residence that you are applying for, or your nationality or the region where you are going to live in, these all things can differ. So these are just some general indicators, but for your specific situation, you really need to check what applies. And as I said, there are gestorías. They can provide you professional help. Actually, in Spain, there are many precisely for the reason that documentation is actually quite complicated and that many people don't really understand it. And many of them are actually quite affordable. So keep that in mind. Explore this option as well. Thank you for watching. I also have other social networks. Check my Instagram account. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Don't forget to share this video to people moving to Spain and subscribe because this helps a lot to small creators. I will see you next week. I will be posting more videos about the administration in the future. So thank you very much.